Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome back to Cross Zone. And this is going to be the very first sort of life lesson thing that I talk about here on the Cross Zone channel. And today we're going to discuss bullying, specifically bullying in sports. And obviously, given the context of this channel, bullying in Christian sports. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story here. And this has to do with pro wrestling. And I don't care what anybody says, pro wrestling is a real sport despite the fact that it's scripted. So wrestlers count as athletes. Now, back when I was a little boy, this would have been in like 1990, 91, somewhere in there. There were a couple of tag teams in wrestling. There was a bunch of them, but we're just going to talk about two today. The British Bulldogs and the Rougeau brothers. And one of the guys in the British Bulldogs, they called the Dynamite Kid, was very much a bully. He used to pick fights with people for no reason. He used to destroy people's properties for no reason. Beat people up for no reason, all kinds of stuff. And he was messing, he got into this trip with Jacques Rougeau. Now, the Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond, right? Where he would start bullying Jacques and doing all kinds of stuff to Jacques. And this went on for months. Now, Jacques' brother, Ray, was a professional boxer and was very tough, but he had a bum knee at the time. His knee was broken and his knee was healing, so he couldn't really help his brother in a physical way too much. The Dynamite Kid kept pushing and pushing and pushing, just doing stuff to Jacques' property, all kinds of stuff, bullying him when he saw him in person. I mean, it was bad. And Dynamite Kid was known for this. I mean, he was known to be hot-headed. He was known to be very much a bully. He loved picking on people that he thought were weaker than him and people that were weaker than him. And unfortunately, Dynamite was a tough dude. He wasn't one of those bullies that folded when you stood up to him. He could fight. And Jacques tried to fight him one day and lost badly. Got his nose busted, all kinds of stuff. But that's not where it ended. After months of this, Jacques decided he had to do something about this. Now, Dynamite Kid had been getting away with bullying people through most of his career. One day, Jacques went and got himself a roll of quarters. And he waited around the locker room for the wrestlers to come out of catering. And when the Dynamite Kid came out of catering, Jacques put that roll of quarters in his fist and nailed Dynamite Kid as hard as he could. It was a really ugly scene. Dynamite Kid lost all his front teeth. There was blood everywhere. I mean, it was crazy. Coins going everywhere. And then Jacques proceeded to basically beat the crap out of Dynamite Kid from that point. Dynamite Kid was never the same again after that. Not only did he lose a whole lot of respect, but it messed him up to the point where he could really never return to wrestling. I think he wrestled for like another month after that, and then he hung it up. And he really only wrestled a couple matches, and he could barely get through those. So the moral of the story here is that bullying always comes back to you, especially if you just keep picking at it and picking at it and picking at it. Now, Christians might not bully people in the same way that worldly people do. It might not be like the physical altercations, but Christians do bully people in numerous different ways. They make condescending comments constantly. They do all kinds of stuff. And sports is very much a ripe ground for bullying, you know. But athletes who are better at their sport like to look down on athletes who are not so good, like athletes who are on the B squad and C squad and stuff like that. And that a lot of times turns into bullying. A Christian athlete might think that another Christian athlete doesn't go to Bible study enough, so starts messing with them about that. I mean, there's all kinds of bullying that goes on. Now, we all know bullying is a sin, but what a lot of people don't realize is that karma is also in play here too. Karma is real. God says in the Bible that what goes around comes around. He says that in Proverbs numerous times. If you take a disliking to somebody and you start trying to mess with them or mess with their lives in some kind of way, you might get away with it for a while, but in some way, shape, or form, it's going to come back to you, whether that person has enough of you and decides to get revenge on you, or whether God brings somebody else into your life who's a much worse bully than you ever were. I mean, God's going to make sure that if you're a bully, you're going to get yours one way or the other. You're going to have some kind of a tough time in life that you weren't going to have before because of your bullying. So, if you won't stop bullying somebody for just the sake of morality and the sake of, just the morals the Bible teaches or whatever, then think about the karmic aspect of it. Because if you're a bully and somebody who bullies people regularly, best believe karma is going to come back to you. That's all.